What can we actually do as activists during this time to ensure that we deliver change? We can't go back to normal because normal was exactly the problem.
Once we come out of this health crisis, there is an environmental crisis waiting for us.
So far, quarantine for me has been very interesting. It's given me a lot of time to delve into myself and think deeply about a lot of things.
I'm using this time now to try and redefine or try and restructure how I do my climate advocacy.
As far as the changes that we have been seeing to the environment as a result of the pandemic, I will never say that I'm happy that people are dying, especially as this virus hits marginalized communities the hardest, same communities which are suffering first and most from the climate crisis.
I'm sure all of us have really enjoyed reading the stories about dolphins returning to the shores of Italy and fishes coming back to the Venetian canals.
Species returning to their habitats, but humans are not the virus to blame.
Human beings are part of this planet as well. No one is the one sole person that is to blame because it's the system that is to blame.
We shouldn't be celebrating a healthier environment at the cost of hundreds of thousands of lives. We should fight for a healthy, just environment that is completely aligned with healthy communities, thriving communities.
It's really unfortunate that we live in a system that only prioritizes economic growth at the expense of our environment.
The government should be focusing on rebuilding the safety network and our infrastructure that was ruined by austerity.
When it's time to rebuild the economy, we need to do so through the Green New Deal.
So that instead of bailing out big corporations, the governments are focusing their funding on the most impacted, on investing in not just short-term relief, but in long-term resiliency.
As the world currently faces multiple crises, I urge the governments and decision makers to not forget the commitment that they've made to enhancing climate action.
Now is the time to be motivated and to learn so that we can apply what we learn when we come out of this quarantine, because that will be the most influential time for change.
What can we actually do as activists during this time to ensure that we deliver change?
I think for people at home who are involved in the climate movement or who want to be involved in the climate movement isn't an isolated, separate lane. The climate movement and being involved in it is requiring us to understand how intersectional these spaces are.
Just reach out to your local activist groups. They love when you reach out and say, hey, I can help.
And I think one of the things we can all do is participate in online climate strikes. We can spread petitions.
Join a mutual aid group.
Keep aware, keep reading, keep informed.
Because activism isn't just about action in terms of protesting and marching and going on rallies. It's about really having conversations with the people around you.
My advice for staying positive and what I keep in mind is remembering that there are still thousands of young people fighting for our future every day.
This could be an incredible opportunity to completely change the systems that we've had in place for centuries.
I think the power of this moment is that people can really wake up. People can utilize their power.
I think it's really important to breathe. And I know that's cliche as fuck, but get out in the sunshine. Breathe the air.
The lifestyle you have been brought up in does not have to be a reality for you. I think we should shift out of the age of luxury and into an age of insight and love, compassion, community.
That's a big one. A message for the world.
The coronavirus has really placed us at the crossroad of history.
This crisis has made us take a step back from business as usual.
The time is now. If not you, then who? If not now, then when?
You have so much power in you.
We can either allow this crisis to define us or allow our actions to define the crisis.
So I want you to imagine a future in which you can thrive, and even if you can see no evidence for it, go out and fight for it.
I think now is the time for building bridges, for going inward, for creating art, for supporting one another, for fighting for justice at a systemic level, and for understanding how the individual impacts and the individual actions we take connect us to a much larger struggle.
Be kind. We need each other more than ever.